remain standing for the singing of our national anthem and the prayer of invocation. I'll ask graduates Kayla Albright-DeVoe and Jose Goret to lead us in the singing of O Canada. I will ask graduate Katie Snow to offer the prayer of invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this special evening and that we can gather here with family, friends, and loved ones. We thank you for the past 6 years here at SMBA, all the friendships that have been formed, and all the days of fun and laughter. We thank you for your protecting hand above us, our wonderful teachers, leaders, and the guidance you have placed in our lives. We thank you for the privilege of attending a safe school and the opportunity of receiving an education. As this chapter of our lives closes, so a new one begins. As we venture forth, Lord, help us make wise decisions. Fill our mind with your thoughts and our bodies with your strength. Guide us in the paths you want us to take. Help us live the lives that are pleasing to you, and help us remember that wherever we are, you are there with us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
You may be seated. I'd like to welcome you this evening to St. Mary's Bay Academy. We are delighted to be honoring our graduates this evening. I'd like to make a few introductions of the platform hosts and guests. My name is Jennifer Thibault. I'm the Vice Principal here at St. Mary's Bay Academy, and I'm your Master of Ceremonies this evening. Ms. Janice McNutt, our Principal. Ms. Lisa Doucette, Superintendent for the Tri-County Regional School Board. Mr. Alvin Comeau, Member for Tri-County Regional School Board. And of course, our graduates. At this point, I'd like to ask Ms. McNutt to come forward and give the principal's address.
Fine-looking group here tonight, aren't they? Parents, teachers, special guests, and most honored guests of the evening, our graduating class of 2014. I am thrilled to see you all here this evening. I'm happy to bring you greetings on behalf of all of the staff at SMDA and to extend you all sincere congratulations for all that you have accomplished. You're a dynamic group, and you will leave your mark on St. Mary's Bay Academy in many ways. As our student leaders, you have worked together to positively represent the Stingrays both inside our school walls and in our communities. As I thought about what message I wanted to leave you with on this graduation night, I kept coming back to one theme, and that was the idea of perseverance. So what is perseverance? Well, it's commitment, hard work, it's patience, and it's endurance. I like to call it stick-with-itness, and I've also heard it being referred to as having grit. It's being able to bear difficulties calmly and without complaint. It's trying again and again and again. Perseverance. For me, this virtue is also an ability or a skill. Some of us have already developed it or are developing it, and some of us have yet to develop it in our lives and characters. The best part about having grit is that each one of us can grow and nurture it in our lives. Whether you're just figuring out what it is and how it can help you, or whether you're already on the road to not only having it personally, but inspiring others with your own stick-with-itness abilities. This quality is particularly important as you close this chapter of high school and move on to your next steps, wherever that may be. Each of you will be embarking on a new adventure. College, university, entering the workforce, and by doing so, you will be faced with the unknown, the unexpected, and at times, challenging or demanding situations. You'll be called upon to be problem solvers, networkers, learners, innovators. You will need to push yourselves in new ways, and it is up to you how you will respond. Will you become overwhelmed in the face of difficulty? Will you give up when things get tough, or when you're pushed to your limit? Or will you embrace the challenge and dig in even harder, putting in extra hours, extra effort, and extra heart to get the job done? Will you try again and again and again? Will you persevere? I found a proverb that might best sum this up, and it says, "Failure is the path of least persistence." The choice will be yours and yours alone, whether or not you persevere through adversity. I do know that I have witnessed occasions of tremendous perseverance within our graduating group. I've been touched by your stick-with-itness on several different initiatives. I also encourage each of you to think about how increasing your own commitment or endurance can serve you so very well in the future. It can actually help you become the best that you can be. As I close, I just want to remind you of a few things. Challenges are opportunities for growth. Diversity is an invitation for enlightenment. Obstacles are stepping stones to our future. I know that as the grads of 2014 go out into the world, we will be in very good hands. Good luck to each and every one of you. Congratulations.
We will now present the Nova Scotia High School diplomas to the graduates. Graduates, as I call your name, please come to the front of the stage. Kayla Mary Albright DeVoe. Kayla will be taking hairstyling at the Hair Design Center in Halifax in the fall. Joel Brian Amiro. Joel will be attending NSCC King's Tech in the Electronic Engineer Technician program. Francine Marie O'Coin. Francine plans to take office administration at NSCC. Valerie Ann Barr. Valerie will be attending Holland College in the Culinary Arts program. Taylor Jordan Bell. Taylor will be entering the workforce with plans to complete an aesthetics program in the fall. Catherine Ann Brooks. Catherine will be attending Liberty University in Virginia, USA, in the Honors Bachelor of Science program. Jeremy William Jack Carr. Jeremy will be entering the workforce after graduation. Shane Daniel Clements. Shane will be entering the workforce after graduation. Chloe Menon Camo. Luke Russell Camo. Luke will be attending NSCC King's Tech in the Horticulture and Landscaping program. Tristan Michael Camo. Tristan will be attending UNB in the fall in the engineering program. Courtney Nicole DeLong. Courtney intends to do a Bachelor of Nursing program at Dalhousie University. I've neglected to mention what the color of the cords means. Several of the graduates have received a cord around their neck. The gold-colored cords signify that they've graduated with honors, and the red cords signify that they've graduated honors with distinction. Colton Denny Doucette. Colton will be entering the workforce in the fall, and Colton has also satisfied the requirements for the Options and Opportunities program and is receiving a Certificate of Achievement. Zoe Marcia Doucette. Zoe will be returning to St. Mary's Bay Academy for upgrading in September. Jose Christine Godet. Honors with distinction. Jose will be attending NSCC Burridge in the Social Services program. Felicia Ray Godet. Honors. Felicia plans to enter the workforce after graduation. Abby Leah Hubbard. Honors with distinction. Sorry, honors. Abby will be entering a Bachelor of Nursing program at Dalhousie University in the fall. Rachel Julia Johns. Honors. Rachel will be attending Dalhousie University in the Bachelor of Arts program. Alicia Leah Landrio, honors with distinction. Alicia will be attending St. Mary's University in the Bachelor of Arts program. Drew Bentley Merzero. Drew plans on taking early childhood education at NSCC King's Tech in September. Andre Laurent Thomas Michaud. Andre will be attending St. Mary's University in the fall, taking computer science. Matthew Kenneth Morin, honors. Matthew plans on entering the workforce. Kendra Ella Ruth Mullen. Kendra will be entering the Medical Office Administration program at NSCC King's Tech. Quentin Kyle Mullen. Quentin plans on attending St. Mary's University in a criminology program. Kyle Douglas Raymond, honors. Kyle plans on entering the workforce after graduation, and he has also satisfied the requirements for the Options and Opportunities program and is receiving a Certificate of Achievement. Michaela Mary Raymond. Michaela is taking the Continuing Care program at NSCC Digby in the fall. Dominic Michael Remington Robichaud. Dominic plans on entering the workforce after graduation. Colin Joseph Ryan. Colin plans on taking a heavy equipment course in the future. Kristen Stephanie Sabin. Kristen will be attending NSCC Burridge in the Social Services program. Michaela Dawn Sabin, honors with distinction. Michaela plans on taking a Bachelor of Arts program at St. Francis Xavier University. Clarice Rosie Saunier. Clarice will be entering the workforce and service for her church. She has also satisfied the requirements for the Options and Opportunities program and is receiving a Certificate of Achievement. Katie Joanne Snow. Katie is attending Mount Allison University in the fall in a Bachelor of Science program. Jolene Isabella Spinney. Jolene is taking the Continuing Care program at NSCC Waterfront Campus in the fall. Allison Ashley Stone. Allison will be taking the Continuing Care program at NSCC Digby in the fall. Amber Louise Tebow. Amber will be entering the workforce after graduation and then entering the Funeral Arranging and Directing program at NSCC in 2015. Laurel Lynn Wagner, honors with distinction. Laurel will be attending St. Francis Xavier in a Bachelor of Nursing program. Our final graduate this evening, Taylor Stewart Wheatley, honors. Taylor is attending Dalhousie University in the fall in a Bachelor of Science program. At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Alvin Camo, Tri-County Regional School Board member, to send greetings and congratulations to the graduates.
Good evening to all the parents, family, members, and friends of the graduation class of 2014. On behalf of the Tri-County Regional School Board, I am pleased and honored to be here again tonight to say a few words of congratulations to the young women and men here this evening on their accomplishment. After all the years you have put in our education system, you are at last receiving your diploma this evening. For you, your fellow graduates, this is a time of celebration and great joy. Now you must move on to new adventures in your life and educational future of universities and colleges you will attend, to where you can reach your full potential and choose the career you wish to go into. Here is the message I am giving you tonight. If you don't proceed with your education at this time, and you are not quite sure what career you wish to go into, and decide to take time off of your education, chances are you won't go back to the future of your education. Circumstances arise, things happen, you have a wife or husband, children, car payments, mortgage, debts, etc. Continue your education now when you are still young, and you will have a good career and a good income to back you up for your years to come. This is something to think about. Make the decision to further your education now. As you leave St. Mary's Bay Academy, you will feel some sadness in leaving your friends and teachers behind, especially the friends you graduate with. But the future will bring new friends and teachers, and you will still have the memories of your years at St. Mary's Bay Academy. At this time, I would like, on behalf of the board, to thank all the administration and the staff, SAC, local volunteers at St. Mary's Bay for all their hard work throughout the year to make the school run in a safe and clean environment. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the principal, Janice McNutt, and Vice Principal Jennifer Thibault for all the hard work and long hours they put in during the course of a year at their school for the benefit of the students and parents at St. Mary's Bay Academy. Excuse me. Thank you. I would like to wish June Maxwell, English teacher at the secondary level here at St. Mary's Bay Academy, and Anthony Frizzle at the senior level, who are retiring after a long and productive career in education. Enjoy your retirement. You have earned it. You will both be very much missed. Thank you for your good work, and best of luck. Now, in closing, I would like to say congratulations again, and the best of luck to all the 2014 graduates here tonight. Have a safe night and summer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Camo. The valedictorian is chosen by the graduating class to speak on their behalf at graduation. This year's valedictorian is Catherine Brooks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, family and friends, faculty, and my fellow members of the class of 2014. It is truly a privilege to have the opportunity to represent St. Mary's Bay Academy and to speak for this distinguished assembly of graduates tonight. I am so happy to be able to share this milestone with each of you. My job here tonight is to remind us of our often enlightening, while sometimes embarrassing pasts, to encourage us as we embark upon the outstandingly bright futures that I know lie before us, and hopefully to reduce each one of you to tears. I must admit that when I started writing this speech, I wasn't sure what to say. After all, what more can and needs to be said between a group of people who have known and loved one another as closely as we have and for as long as we have? But as I began reflecting on the past 13 years, I couldn't help but smile. We all began our journey here differently and from different schools, from Clare to Weymouth, Havelock to the Islands, East Hants, and even as far as Newfoundland and Ontario. But as we came together, each of us with our own set of fears and goals, we became more than just a bunch of awkward teenagers. We became teammates, friends, and family. We spent 3 hours in the freezing rain in the middle of nowhere on our grade 9 retreat with Mrs. Thomas and Madame Forward. Waited anxiously for those 3-hour bus rides to Neptune with Mr. Frizzle and Miss Maxwell. Through it all, we've shared secrets, laughed so hard that we cried, and made memories that will no doubt last us a lifetime. As our final year here together has unfolded, we've spent countless lunch hours making trips to town or organizing school activities, not really realizing that our time was quickly flying by. And as our final month of our last year of high school came upon us, we spent our free time cramming for exams, decorating for prom, and, in my case, crying over the all-too-soon end of our high school careers. Over the past 6 years, there have been 3 constants in our lives: Facebook, Miley Cyrus, and St. Mary's Bay. It didn't matter that we couldn't find anything to wear or didn't want to wait for the bus in the pouring rain. We had to come to school. We were required to be here to get an education, but in being here, we also gained understanding, perspective, and arguably maturity. I would like to thank the parents, guardians, and loved ones of this year's graduating class. Without your commitment to us, we would not be sitting on this stage with our diplomas. I'd like to ask my fellow graduates to join me in standing to honor and applaud those who sacrificed so much for us. I would also like to thank each teacher, PSA, janitor, principal, our lovely secretary, and of course, our oh-so-patient guidance counselor. Through the good and the bad, you've put your time and energy into each of us, and have truly made St. Mary's Bay our second home. For that, we will be forever grateful. To my graduates, I would like to thank each of you for helping fill my years here with smiles, laughter, and friendship. I will sincerely miss each one of you. Now, traditionally, this is the portion of my speech where I tell you that among us, I see lawyers, doctors, and prime ministers. And while I have absolutely no doubt that we can and will do those things, I know we can do much more. I know this because whatever it is we do, we will be the best we can be at it. Nelson Mandela once said, "Our greatest glory in living is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." So don't be afraid to try something new and be terrible at it. Don't be afraid to change your mind and change it again. And most importantly, don't be afraid when it gets hard, because in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. And I know that every single one of us will take the opportunity to do something great. As I look out at you tonight, my fellow grads, I feel both a sense of pride and sadness. I am proud of all the things we've accomplished in our short time here and the memories we've each made. I know we will never forget our time. The only thing that saddens me about today is the knowledge that the next chapter in our lives will not be filled with new memories of each other. But even though that saddens me, I know this is not goodbye. It is simply goodbye for now. In closing, I would like to leave you with a quote from Steve Jobs.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Most important, have the courage to follow your own heart and intuition. Stay hungry and stay foolish. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it was with great honor that I present to you the graduating class of 2014.
This portion of the graduation ceremony is where awards and bursaries are presented to the graduating students. The bursaries and scholarships are selected by a variety of methods. There are some the students apply for and are selected by an outside agency. Some have specific requirements from the outside source, and others are selected by a committee at the school level. There will be various community members who are joining us this evening to present awards, scholarships, and bursaries. I would like to ask the presenters to come up to the stage area 3 or 4 places in advance. Please use the stairs to the right of the stage. And would the first few presenters please come up at this time. First, we will present our awards. The Clare Mutual Fire Insurance Company Award, awarded to a graduating student achieving the highest standing in Pre-Calculus 12. Presentation will be made by Ms. Janice Beliveau. And the recipient is Tristan Camo. The Donald and Paula Westby Centennial Award, awarded to a graduating student who, in the opinion of his or her fellow students, has made the most significant contribution to student affairs. Presentation will be made by Mr. Richard Wagner. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. The Brookside Fur Farm Limited Award, awarded to the student achieving the highest standing in English Communications 12. Presentation will be made by Mrs. June Maxwell. The recipient, Matthew Morin. The Weymouth Lions Club Award, awarded to a graduating student with satisfactory academic average and contributing to the sports program. Presentation will be made by Ms. Judy Cromwell. The recipient, Shane Clements. The Hometown Portrait Award, awarded to a graduating student who has achieved the highest standing in Sociology 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Sean Merritt. The recipient, Jose Godet. The Hillsdale Fur Farm Award, awarded to a graduating student with the highest standing in English 12 academic. Presentation will be made by Mr. Anthony Frizzle. The recipient, Jose Godet. The Weymouth Drugstore Limited Award, awarded to a student with the highest standing in Health and Human Services 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Nathan Hanna. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. The McAlpines Auto Service Award, awarded to a graduating student with a satisfactory academic average and contributing to the sports program. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Tanya Cromwell. The recipient, Abby Hubbard. The Goodwin Hotel Award, awarded to a student with the highest standing in Food Science 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Sean Merritt. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. The Sisaboo Farm Supplies Award, awarded to a student with the highest standing in Math Academic 12. The recipient, Hannah Lynn Zhu, was with us this semester participating in the International Student Program and has already returned home to China. The Tuscan Lodge Citizenship Award, awarded to a graduating student who, in the judgment of his or her fellow students, exhibits outstanding qualities of citizenship. Presentation will be made by Mr. George Rohn, and the recipient, Katie Snow. The Duga Auto Recyclers Award, awarded to a student achieving the highest standing in Law 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Nassim Hanna. Recipient is Alicia Landrio. The Royal Bank of Canada Award is awarded to the student achieving the highest standing in Advanced Mathematics 12. The recipient this year was Kiang Peng. Peng was with us this year participating in the International Student Program and has also already returned home to China. The Felix Dosset Memorial Award, awarded to the student achieving the highest standing in Film and Video 12. Presentation will be made by Ms. Erin Mullen. The recipient is Spencer Smith. Spencer's a grade 11 student. And I don't believe that Spencer was able to be with us this evening. The Tri-County Regional School Board Student Community Award is awarded to a full-time student in grade 12 who has worked to improve the quality of life in his or her school or community. Presentation will be made by Mr. Alvin Camo. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. Signature Tire Award, awarded to a student with the highest standing in Global Politics 12. Presentation made by Mr. Sean Merritt. The recipient, Alicia Landrio. The SMBA Award, awarded to the student achieving the highest standing in Biology 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Arthur Hatt. The recipient, Jose Godin. The Sisaboo Home Hardware Building Center Award, awarded to a graduating student achieving the highest standing in Production Technology 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Stephen Barr. The recipient is Dominique Franzen Mayet. Dominique is a grade 11 student. The Munchies Vending Award is awarded to a graduating student achieving the highest standing in Advanced Global Geography 12. Presentation will be made by Mr. Sean Merritt. The recipient is Laurel Wagner. Weymouth Foodland Award is awarded to a graduating student achieving the highest standing in Calculus 12. Presentation will be made by Ms. Mary Carr. The recipient is Tristan Camo. The Royal Canadian Legion Weymouth Branch Number 67 Award is awarded to a student with the highest standing in Global Geography 12. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Laverne Manzer. The recipient is Erica Amiro. Erica is a grade 11 student. The St. Mary's Bay Academy Award is awarded to a student with the highest standing in Psychology 12. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Jessica Campbell. The recipient, Jose Godin. The Vintage Farms Incorporated Award is awarded to a student achieving the highest standing in Physics 12. Presentation will be made by Ms. Sarah Nielsen. The recipient, Tristan Camo. The Langsecure Security Award is awarded to a student with the highest standing in O2 Co-op 12. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Debbie Langdale. The recipient is Clarice Saunier. The University of Toronto Book Award is awarded for superior academic performance, original and creative thought, and exceptional achievement. Presentation will be made by Mr. Sean Merritt. The recipient is Catherine Brooks. And we will continue with the presentation of the bursaries. The Lions Club of Weymouth Scholarship, sponsored by the Weymouth Lions Club, is in the amount of $500. It's awarded to a graduating student having a satisfactory academic standing and who has shown qualities of leadership and good citizenship. This recipient must also have been accepted by a post-secondary education institution. Presentation will be made by Ms. Judy Cromwell. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. The Royal Canadian Legion Weymouth Branch number 67 bursary in the amount of $500 is awarded to a senior student to further his or her education in a business field or career where business skills may be required. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Laverne Manzer. The recipient, Kendra Mullen. The Claire Dodge Chrysler bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a graduating student with high academic achievement going on to further education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Darlene Wagner. The recipient, Tristan Camo. The Belleville Motors bursary in the amount of $150 is awarded to a graduating student going on to further education. Presentation will be made by Ms. Elizabeth Thomas. The recipient is Rachel Johns. The Nova Scotia Teachers Union bursary in the amount of $1,000 is awarded to a graduating student going on to further education in an education-related field. Presentation will be made by Ms. Elizabeth Thomas. The recipient, Drew Merzero. The Ruth Goodwin bursary in the amount of $400 is awarded to a deserving graduating student going to further study at an accredited Canadian university. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Tracy Murphy. The recipient, Michaela Sabin. The community bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a student with high academic achievement going on to further education. Presentation will be made by Mr. Richard Wagner. The recipient is Alicia Landrio. The Weymouth Value Foods bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a student of good academic standing who is going on to further education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Jessica Campbell. The recipient, Valerie Barr. The Nova Scotia Freemason Scholarship, Tuscan Lodge 111, Weymouth. These scholarships are in the amount of $1,000 and are awarded to students pursuing post-secondary education. Presentation will be made by Mr. George Rohn, and the recipients are Abby Hubbard and Taylor Wheatley. School Advisory Council bursary in the amount of $499 is awarded to a student pursuing a post-secondary education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Ruth Frizzle. The recipient is Catherine Brooks. The Metegan Save Easy bursary in the amount of $150 is awarded to a graduating student who has maintained good marks throughout his or her studies at the senior high level and is going on to post-secondary education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Tracy Murphy. The recipient, Kristen Sabin. The Soniaville Pharma Choice bursary in the amount of $300 is awarded to a graduating student who has achieved well at the high school level and is going on to continue his or her education at the post-secondary level. Presentation will be made by Ms. Kim Melanson. The recipient is Alicia Landrio. La Casse Populaire de Clare bursaries in the amount of $500 are awarded to one male and one female graduating student who will go on to post-secondary education. Presentation will be made by Ms. Karen Timo. And the recipients are Andre Michaud and Jose Godet. The Ladies Auxiliary Royal Canadian Legion Weymouth Branch number 67 bursary in the amount of $200 is awarded to a graduating student. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Hazel Ford, and the recipient is Rachel Johns. The Weymouth Royal Bank bursary in the amount of $1,000 is awarded to a graduating student who will pursue their education in a business field or career where business skills may be required. Presentation will be made by Ms. Sheila Cromwell. The recipient is Tristan Camo. The Metegan Lioness Club bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a graduating student who will pursue his or her studies at a post-secondary institution. Presentation will be made by Ms. Tina DeVoe. The recipient, Michaela Sabin. The Clarence Shopping Center bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a graduating student who will pursue his or her studies at a post-secondary institution. Presentation will be made by Mr. Cody Bain. Recipient, Allison Stone. The Wayne Boudreau Memorial Bursary in the amount of $200 is awarded to a deserving student going on to further his or her studies. Presentation will be made by Mr. Arthur Hatt, and the recipient is Luke Camo. The Knights of Columbus Conseil Cigogne number 6348 bursary in the amount of $500 is awarded to a deserving student going on to further his or her studies. Presentation will be made by Mr. Richard Cromwell. The recipient, Katie Snow. The Clare Community Health Board bursary in the amount of $200 is awarded with the intent of rewarding the recipient for the perseverance they demonstrated in overcoming challenges and personal self-growth they needed to develop in order to achieve their success. Presentation will be made by Ms. Jolene Camo, and the recipient is Jolene Spinney. The Weymouth Drugstore Limited bursary in the amount of $250 is awarded to a graduating student going on to university. Presentation will be made by Mr. Natan Hanna. Recipient is Laurel Wagner. The Weymouth Minor Baseball bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a graduating student demonstrating outstanding athletic ability and dedication. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Tanya Cromwell. and the recipient is Abby Hubbard. The Catholic Women's League of Canada, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Council, in the amount of $150 is awarded to a student who will pursue his or her studies at a post-secondary institution. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Delia Bell. The recipient, Kayla Albright DeVoe. The Royal Canadian Legion Clare Branch number 52 bursary in the amount of $300 each are awarded to graduating students. Presentation will be made by Mr. Lawrence Theriault. The recipients are Alicia Landrio and Luke Camo. The Digby Clare Community Business Development Center bursary in the amount of $250 is awarded to a student continuing their education in a business field or a career where business skills may be required. Presentation will be made by Mr. Cody Bain. The recipient, Valerie Barr. The Nicole Long Memorial Bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a student continuing their education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Jessica Campbell and the recipient, Rachel Johns. The Digby General Hospital Auxiliary Bursary in the amount of $500 is awarded to a student continuing their education. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Ruth Frizzle, the recipient, Laurel Wagner. Chambre de Commerce de Clare bursary in the amount of $250 is awarded to a student continuing their education. Presentation will be made by Ms. Karen Timo. The recipient, Amber Tebow. The Bayview Auto Bursary in the amount of $100 is awarded to a student continuing their education. Presentation will be made by Ms. Janice McNutt. The recipient, Taylor Bell. The John David Amiro Bursary in the amount of $200 is awarded to a graduating student who has demonstrated a willingness to learn, to support others, and to be respectful of differences. Presentation will be made by Mr. Anthony Amiro and the recipient, Joel Amiro. The SMBA Student Council bursary in the amount of $250 is awarded to a graduating student who has shown a commitment to school activities and demonstrates leadership qualities. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Jessica Campbell. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. The Atlantic Building Supplies Dealer Association bursary in the amount of $1,500. Presentation will be made by Mr. Stephen Barr. The recipient, Valerie Barr. The Bowman Melanson Service Award, Emmanuel Baptist Church of Clare, in the amount of $500. Presentation will be made by Mr. Logan Melanson. The recipient, Katie Snow. The following scholarships have been received by graduating students from the institutions to which they have applied. The Nova Scotia Community College Entrance Scholarship for first-year tuition for the value of approximately $3,000. Presentation will be made by Mary Thompson, the principal of NSCC Burridge and Shelburne campuses. is awarded to José Godin. The other scholarships, bursaries that have been received by our graduates: St. Mary's University Rose Marie Beliveau Abraham Scholarship of $2,700 has been awarded to Alicia Landrio. St. Mary's University Entrance Scholarship of $1,000 renewable for 4 years, also to Alicia Landrio. Mount Allison bursary for $1,500, received by Katie Snow. The Mount Allison Entrance Scholarship, $1,000, renewable for 4 years, to Katie Snow. Liberty University Academic Honors of $2,000 to Catherine Brooks. Catherine has also received from Liberty University the International Academic Scholarship of $1,500, the International Champion Award of $500, and the International Early Deposit Award of $625. St. Francis Xavier University Entrance Scholarship of $3,500, $500 in the first year, and $1,000 renewable for 3 more years, to Michaela Sabin. St. Francis Xavier University Entrance Scholarship of $3,500, $500 in the first year, and $1,000 renewable for 3 more years, to Laurel Wagner. And a Dalhousie University Entrance Scholarship of $750 to Rachel Johns. And to complete the presentation portion of the evening, the Governor General's Academic Medal is awarded to a student with highest academic standing in all grade 11 and 12 courses taken. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Lisa Doucet. The recipient, José Godin. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II Medal, to be awarded to a graduating student over his or her 3-year high school program who has demonstrated superior achievement in school studies in all 3 years of high school, has achieved an outstanding record in all aspects of school and community involvement, and is graduating having satisfied the requirements for a Nova Scotia High School completion certificate. Presentation will be made by Mrs. Lisa Doucet. The recipient, Catherine Brooks. We here at St. Mary's Bay Academy have been fortunate in recent years to host students from around the world as part of the Nova Scotia International Student Program. This year we have had the pleasure of getting to know 14 students from a variety of countries around the world. This year we had 1 grade 12 student who spent first semester with us, returning home to Germany in February. Because he had such a positive experience, he has chosen to return in June to spend a little more time with his friends and host family. We would like Lucas Hemkos to come receive a certificate of participation in the International Student Program. Also a thank you, many thanks to Mrs. Debbie Langdale, Mr. Les Scanlon, Mr. Richard Wagner, and Ms. Corrine Gallagher for all their help in the preparation of this graduation, and also with all the many things that they do. As we conclude our celebration, we would like to thank everyone for coming this evening and for all of your support and encouragement of the grads over the years. I will ask graduate Jolene Spinney to come and lead us in the singing of God Save the Queen. Would you please stand and remain standing for the recessional march?